Welcome to the next level with Keith, where clarity replaces confusion and simple systems lead to real freedom. Every episode begins with intention, music that centers your mind, lifts your spirit, and prepares you for transformation. This is your space for growth, your place to reset, your moment to rise. Rethinking your thinking, because when you shift your mind, you shift your money. Stack and grow, where small, intentional steps turn into lasting wins. Simple strategies, real progress. Your circle, your currency, because your network matters. Mobile money moves, business, income, and empowerment from the device in your pocket. This isn't just talk, it's guidance, it's strategy, it's movement. Welcome to the next level with Keith. Let's begin.
Inside, a winning team is here to be your guide. Oh, my friend, you've been looking for a brand new day. I got good news, only a click away. You can click on any hub. You are sure to feel the love. Got some stories in my book, hope you'll take the time and look. The message in this simple read, teens, young adults, help them succeed. Scroll on down, got more to say. Go blogs, let's take it away. And if you choose not to do a thing that will ever cause me not to win, when you know your worth, no need to beg. Selling with no pressure is more fun. Instead, financial freedom has been calling you. Come join a hub, see what it will do. Come on and dance along with me. We going to the next level with Keith. The next level, the next level, the next level, next level with Keith. The next level, the next level, the next level, next level with Keith. The next level, the next level, the next level, next level with Keith. The next level. 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 Next level with Keith. The next level. The next level. The next level. Next level with Keith. And if you choose not to do a thing that will ever cause me not to win, when you know your worth, no need to beg. Selling with no pressure is more fun. Instead, the next level, the next level, the next level, next level with Keith. The next level, the next level, the next level, next level with Keith. The next level, the next level, the next level, next level with Keith. The next level, the next level, the next level, next level with Keith. The next level, the next level, the next level, next level with Keith. The next level.
Thank you. Woo, the next level. Pump it up, pump it up, pump it up. Yes, we are in season 2. For those of you who were here last week, you realize that last week was the ending of season 1. And this week would have been the first episode, or you would say, of the second season, or episode 22. So altogether, it's episode 22, and this is the first episode of season 2. So again, welcome to the next level with Keith. Same crew, and the crew is just making it happen for me. They're making me look good, and I'm so excited for those behind the scenes. You guys make me look good every single Monday night at 9. And for those of you who have been hanging with me for this past, what, maybe 3, 4 months, man, I so I'm appreciative of you guys, all of you. And I've seen where a lot of you moved from just, silent supporters to really becoming interactive and sending me little encouragement and how you felt about the shows and how you were being impacted. And some of you will keep saying how you want to start making some moves. And I'm like, that's what it's about. It's about really just sharing and really seeing folks say, you know what? I needed this and I'm going to use this and go to the next level. So, again, thank you, thank you, thank you again. Welcome to the next level with Keith. We're talking about the 1st of June, June 1st, 2026, episode 22. My goodness, this is so cool. I'm a bit surprised, but tonight I'm a bit overwhelmed. Many emotions running through my veins right now as I thought about the last season and how I think that season was a big part of you getting to know me, all right? Getting to know me a little bit, right? And feeling me out and hopefully develop I would say, a more of a trusting kind of relationship because what's important, I think, is not just getting information from someone, only that's important, but sometimes having that trust and knowing that this person has committed themselves to doing this and do it consistently. And I thought about, when someone gets a degree in college, why sometimes a job looks at you and said, I'm going to hire you regardless of what degree you have or did accomplish. The fact is that you went to school, you spent some time, and you discipline yourself to a particular study. And that in of itself speaks volume that you actually started something and you completed it. And that is something that the world looks at. All right. So a podcast, I have to be reminded by my coach several times that no worries, when it comes to an audience, you may not see certain actions or reactions right away, but oftentimes it takes a little time. It takes time to build and grow and have your audience not just become more of a family type or more of a network type vibe, but they really have a certain trust for you. All right. So where do I begin? There's so much I want to say. Oh my God. Tonight may be a long series, a long show. It may be long. Hopefully it won't be too long, but hopefully it'll be packed with solid, life-changing information. And that is what this podcast is about. It's about really impacting lives globally, globally. And I'm very thankful that even now, as we speak, I'm having a lot of good successes offline. I really am. And I'm excited for that. And I think that I want this to also be translated online. The more eyeballs get to see what I do or get to understand what I do, then I think it's the more folks will be able to say, you know what? Yes, I see what's happening here. Let me take advantage of this information. So the first season, you heard me talk about we think you're thinking, you know, get the mind in that zone or in that particular way of transformative approach. Many of us were one time hardcore 9 to 5ers. Get me to school, get me a job. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Hardcore. Or some of you, so hardcore, you do 2 jobs. Some of you are 3 jobs. Get the 9 to 5 in. You get the job and get that part time thing. Been there, done that, and I wore the T-shirt. And guess what, y'all? Speaking of T-shirt, I got my red T-shirt on tonight, and this red. I'm trying to make a statement. If y'all didn't get it yet, all this time I was asking my printer, I need me a red shirt, and for the entire season 1, she just I just wasn't happening. Either she forgot, or it came and it was sold out really quick, and she's like, "Oh, I forgot to get the T-shirt for this gentleman here." And I kept asking, and finally, she had the right size and the color. So I'm here armed and dangerous, not in a bad way. I'm armed and dangerous. I mean that I'm here saying it's time that we make a stop and really, really go to the next level. Really, really see what's happening here. Sometimes that red light or that stop light is very significant. Some of us are traveling for years, different roads and different, you know, areas of our lives. And sometimes we just don't take the moment to really stop and breathe and think before we cabulate. No, call it we cabulate. Is that the word? I think I'm saying the word wrong, but it's like recalibrate. Yes, recalibrate. That's the word I'm looking for, right? And then make the move to continue. So I have my red shirt tonight, and I think I look pretty handsome. What do you think? What do you think? Come on, y'all, talk to me now. Anyway, let's get to work. Let's get to work. This is gonna be fun, a fun episode, I believe. But yes, so we talked about we think you're thinking and really, trying to just kind of see where we at and how some of you have probably now changed from that set mindset and you're thinking more so, let me see what's out there. Let me explore a little more. Let me listen a little more. Let me see if there are other options besides what I've known to be the only option or the best option. And you don't have to go too far to see why we need to think this way more and more as look at the world, look at the economy, look at what big companies are doing, look at how things are changing and transforming because of the rise of AI in just about every area, and how so many companies are saying you don't have AI a part of your skill, you don't have AI a part of your arsenal. We don't want you, and how many companies are cutting jobs and how many jobs is said by experts that will be gone in the next 2 3 years. And so preparing now, I feel I have a calling and I feel I have a mandate now to really spread the word and get folks to start preparing now for the next 2 3 years because things are going to be drastically different. That's what I believe. All right. So we talked about rethinking and we talked about stack and grow. If you guys, I mean, follow me, we talk about stack and grow. And for those of you who might be new, this might be your first time seeing me here at Next Level with Keith. You can revert back to season 1, all right, and you can hear some of the contextual things that was happening there and what I was trying to lay down there. And I hope that some of y'all picked it up as I laid it down. Talked about the stack and grow, right? We talked about um, um, uh, your mobile money moves, all right, and how we have the advantage of having technology and user-friendly technology. Talk about the phone that we have that's such an important part of our lives. And we talked about your circle, who's around you, how you have aligned yourself for the last what, some of you 30 years, 40 years, 20 years, 10 years, and what it has produced for you, and how you may need to reconsider your circle or maybe shuffle it around some more or leave the circle completely. Start your own circle. Find people that are going to build you and push you and have you grow and not leave you stagnant. Talk about those things in the first season. But this time around on season 2, I'm telling you all, season 2, I'm coming in your face because guess what? If you think about someone is walking on the street and the person doesn't know that there's a car that's coming their way. They're walking. Someone sees the danger, rushes, and literally jumps on that person and get the person out of the way. That fall may seem a little abrupt or maybe hard, but after you get up and realize what you just missed, you didn't mind that push. You didn't mind that hard push the person gave you to get out of the car's way to save your life. All right. So sometimes in life, you can't always be nice and do it nicely in the sense of the word when it comes to letting folks know this is real. You know, I had an epiphany when I was told by someone who knows a lot about the behind the scenes as far as the online world. When I was told that by 2030, we better get our act together. Even having the right kind of website always built is important. They're going to possibly have new new conditions. All right, new things that need to be in place, new things that people will have to be compliant to. And yes, you may get a lot of things that may be cheap and 199 and 999, and it seems awesome. You can get a website, but is it built properly? Is it done properly? Was it done right from the foundation? So when the real thing happens now, where it comes to see what you have, are you up to standard? Are you up to? And I'm thinking like, you know what? It may seem silly, but it makes a whole lot of sense. And so it's a point now where it's like have been online now. You almost need to have an expert. It's like you need a lawyer, have your own personal lawyer or your own personal accountant. It's like that now online to make sure that you're in compliant, that you're in the right standing, that you're updated properly, and when new things are happening, you are aware. So, what will I be doing on this season? I would say, what will I be emphasizing on? I'll be emphasizing on the hubs. You hear it in the song. You heard it in the song. Hub all the way through. Hub, hub, hub. All right. And I'm going to start off talking about the hubs. I'll put it all out there. All right. In the last season, we talked a lot about things and stories that will, really get you to, again, get a good grip of what I'm doing and the idea of getting an overall sense of understanding of ourselves and also what we align with, what works for us. And now season two, I'm putting in your face. A lot of times, when something is placed, maybe later on in the segment, in the show, many of us probably never got to that part to even understand what was being said, how it was actually brewing for it to get that last sweet part of the pie. All right. Because really and truly, many people don't stay long in any one thing online anymore. Most people, I believe, because there's so much to look at and see and scroll through, and I mean, it's endless. So I would be surprised if someone told me that most people spend most times and watching a complete podcast, whether it's mine or somebody else's. I'll be more surprised to hear that, given with how I believe things are these days. So I think people sometimes they pick some here, they pick some there, they pick some there, they pick some there. They kind of pick their own little meal. But sometimes they don't really get the full benefit of the staying and sitting and enjoying the full meal. So what I'll be doing this season, I will be let you know upfront. Hubs, hubs, hubs. They're in your face. You can't miss them. All right. And if I was to look at this first, I would say episode here, I would say is the next level isn't coming. It's being built. The next level isn't coming. It's being built. All right. And you're going to be hearing me talking about things like passive income hub, the passive income hub. All right. Things like the digital training hub, things like the growth reading hub. All right. The family protection hub. And of course, the next level help center. And we're gonna end it off with action taken because I realize at the end of the day, action speaks louder than words. Action is what makes it all make sense. I see, I hear, I act. All right. Those are the three main things that you want to really get as we begin this season. I see, I hear, I act. Very important. And so, welcome again to season two. Over the past 21 episodes, we talked about AI, opportunity, side incomes, mindset shifts, planning for retirement, overcoming fear, building momentum, and adapting to a changing world. And my God, we are in a changing world. But today I want to challenge you with a simple truth. Your next level isn't something you find, it is something you build. Many people are what? They're waiting for, only God knows, but they're waiting for the economy to improve. Is it really? Waiting for the perfect opportunity? You're waiting for the perfect opportunity, waiting for someone to notice them, notice you, waiting for retirement, waiting for what? To, to have confidence, waiting for confidence, folks. But check this out. People who what? Win, succeed, really wait. They build. And building could be brick by brick by brick, step by step by step. So looking at the Freedom Source Hub, right? It has a lot of information, quite a bit. And in the Freedom, I'm sorry, Resource Hub, there has been research, right? Researchers gone into it and careful thinking and giving you information that's relevant and that are of today. All right. And yes, all this information is very important, but information alone doesn't change your life, right? We live in a world overflowing with information. I think someone said we have information overload. I mean, you think about it, everywhere there is different information. Unlike days of old, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, there is so much information in so many ways. All right. And you think about it, even certain advertisement on TV 20, 30, 40 years ago was completely unaffordable by the little guy. Could not be afforded. Couldn't afford it. These days, people watch most of what they watch is on their phones. So a lot of people now can advertise on TV who couldn't do it 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. They can actually advertise on TV on prime time for highly affordable income. Rate. Amazing. So you can learn almost anything. It could, whether in investing, AI, content creation, business, in real estate, personal growth. You can learn all these things. Yet many people what? Remain stuck. Why? Because information is not transformation. It's implementation is what does it. It's not information. Knowing it doesn't make you become a transformed person. Is implementing what you know, what you've heard. Does it? And I hope that what I'm putting down, you're picking up. All right, because I'm just getting warmed up here. But like I said, I'm putting out there in your face because we don't have a lot of time. And with each month that passes by, technology is moving at an all-time rapid pace. And I'm telling you, folks, it's almost like people are going to be shocked one day when they wake up and see that robots have taken their jobs. All right. Don't be surprised if you start seeing these things walking around us. We think it's all cute. They're walking around, you know, so we get used to seeing them, you know, doing funny things on the street, climbing stairs, carrying things, and it's just for show. And a lot of us don't know that they're coming for your job. But let me keep it moving here. So a recent study from the National Training laboratories found that retention and behavior change increase dramatically when people actively apply what they learn rather than simply consume information. Yeah, a recent study from the National Training Laboratories, I have a hard time saying that word, found that retention and behavior change increase dramatically when people actively apply what they learn from the simple consume when I mean when they learn rather than simple consume information. So what is it saying is that it's wanting to actually consume the information, right? Opposed to applying it. Wanting to consume the information, wanting to apply it. That's why today's blog in the Freedom Resource Hub expands this discussion. So yes, you see the blogs and you can go to the blogs, but it doesn't stop there. It's to make it become more practical, more of a live, almost demonstrative approach. Because many people they like things in bite size, and I'm someone who is very layman type in my approach. All right, I like it bite size, simple, and more of a mass appeal. The folks are very advanced and they're very technical in how they do things, and it works for them. But I find that for me, it has to be simple, just easy to understand and easy to actually to apply. All right, and I've done some of the hard things to understand it's not for me, and I've tried so many times in the past and came to a crossroad and just I had to just walk away because I didn't really understood what would entail before I began the journey. And when I started, I'm like, oops, that's not for me. And maybe you've had the experience yourself. But yes, implementation is an important aspect of the success that we are looking for. Now, not because you need more information, because you need a plan of implementation. You see, information is cool, but what's the plan now? How will you implement this information that you've got? All right, and put it into a plan. Right. So the question isn't what do I know? The question is, what am I doing with what I know? That is something that is very important for you to really consider. So let's look at this first major one that I want to emphasize on the passive income hub. Many of us, when we think passive, some may think, what does that mean? What do you mean passive income? And there are different layers to passive income, right? We have called it passive bills. It comes every month. That bill comes every single month. Winter, spring, summer, or fall. It's passive bill. So income, when I say passive, talking about where it's more of a hands off. It's like you set it and kind of leave it. And your involvement may not be as stringent. All right. It may be requiring a lot of automation that's involved. So your role is not so hands on with all the different areas of that. Think about you having a business and then you have a tool, a marketing tool that you set. All right. So rather than you calling or reaching out to these people every day, call them over the phone or emailing these people manually, you have the system do it for you. It does it passively over time. And it may be a month campaign or 3 months campaign or 6 months campaign. But you set the system, whether you do it yourself or you may get an expert, someone who knows how to make it happen. All right. And then you set that in motion. So that's a part of being passive. Now, there are companies that offer more of a passive approach. So you do something once, you get paid for the same effort over and over and over and over again. All right. But during the process of you getting that payment over and over again, you're growing. You may do interaction with your clients. You may give reminders. You may even give gifts. You may give thank yous once a year, twice a year. Right. You may do things within that time while income is coming. You're still sharing, you're still connecting, but you're not tied to that program as if you're tied to a job. All right. You think about a job, it's very, we say, it's like it is a set time when you go in, it's set time when you take your bathroom break, set time when you take your lunch, set time when you clock out. All right. Passive income here is talking about a whole new way of living, of giving yourself a pay raise when you want to. All right. Like I gave myself a pay raise just last week. All right. The job didn't give me that. They give me when they want to give me. I gave myself a passive raise or raise. I can do that. I can do it once a week. I can do it once a month. Really my choice. So when you see passive income resource hub, how much of what comes to your mind? All right. And so what I do, I say, listen to me. A lot of you maybe are not sure how to navigate the way to the line. You could be a newbie, first time you checking things out. You might type in your search in the Google search, work from home, side hustles, business from home, you know, flexible business, on the go business, and you're looking at different things that you might do or want to do. And sometimes so much comes at you, you're not really sure what is real, what's a shiny object. And a lot of you may have had one or two bad experiences. Oh my goodness. One or two bad experience. You become such a non-believer, right? But what we're doing here, we're being a part of a network, also a part of a network where individuals have experience with the online space and passive income. All right. I'm someone who can boldly say I have done the online passive income approach for over 20 years. And I've tried a whole different array of opportunities from the tactile, hands-on products, wellness product stuff and what is chemical stuff that, make your house clean without the poisonous thing, the right soap to wash your clothes with, the right sprays to spray with, the right underarm to use, and the right, you name it. Been there, done that. And I'm telling you, one thing I know for sure, there are a lot of great products out there, hands down. Maybe you have one now. Great products that are very beneficial for our health, our family's health. But I think what happened over the last several years that I've discovered is that they were wrapped into a narrative where it was said you can achieve financial success. You can achieve your ultimate goal. You can fire your boss. You can have the vacations you want and have time freedom to spend with your family. And it was sold big time. And we had the big meetings and the big demonstrations and the testimonials. Those are making all this money per week and month, and we got caught up in the emotions of it. A lot of us were not marketers. And back then, it was a lot more difficult. All right. And it was like the 1%, 2% always did okay. And the companies didn't mind it at all. You get the 1%, 2% who can rock it, do it well, and the rest come spend their money and they go. Next, spend their money and go. Sometimes 2, 3, 4, 5 months, you pay the authorship, you buy some product, you're gone. It didn't work out. Next, next, next. And so those folks fed the company while the 2% kept the company floating and brag about the fund, the kind of money they were making, and they kept recruiting other new people. And I fall for a lot of those things, but I learned some real cool things, and I'm not sad that I went down that road because now I feel equipped to really share, to be extremely, what you would say, focused and centered in how I can really help folks who have never thought about doing an online business, always thinking about it, or who is really saying, I'm ready. To those who might be in advance, those who say to me, I've tried 10 things, doesn't work anymore. Is there hope? Yes, I'm coming after you as well because been there, done that, and I wore the t-shirt. So I know what I'm saying. So yes, you go on my podcast site, all right, my website, you will see the passive income hub. Now, why did I start with the passive income hub? As I mentioned to you before, last month, I'm sorry, the last season, I addressed a lot of things that have to do with how we take action, how we move, how we don't let procrastination be the driving force, how we rise above that. And so you think about why passive income hub. Well, think about what we do every day to sustain ourselves. Think how important is money to our lives are. Think about how important it is. Nothing moves without money. Nothing moves. If it's not your money, it's somebody else's money. To eat requires money. To travel requires money. All right. Everything in your household came about by money. And so I've said it many times in the past. We don't worship money. I don't worship money. Money's only a tool. But for those folks who I think I'm trying to appeal to most, those 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, that age bracket there, where a lot of what we would have wanted to accomplish in our 40s, 50s, and 60s didn't happen yet. And we're thinking somehow we believe it can. I believe it will. Well, this right here just might be your appointment. This right here just might be the moment that you and I have been waiting for, where we can now come into agreement and see that there are some good things out there. They're not easy to find, but when they're discovered, it's like a treasure chest. It's like a treasure chest. So think about why one income stream is becoming riskier. A lot of folks only have a job. And speaking of a job, I was I was a bit moved as I saw one of Roland Martin episode. Roland Martin as the Black Star Network, and he's the owner of the network, which is very empowering as a black man because he talk about him being on CNN and how he was restricted and how he had to walk the thin line and so forth. So now he has the freedom to really express, who he brings on his show, what he says, and not having to worry about him being muzzled. And on this particular network, they had he had a guest who really was in a very, I would say, a very unhappy place because he just got fired from a major a major job that he had for years with Apple. And what caught my attention on the show was that Apple said they were closing three different stores, and he mentioned the one in Trumbull, Connecticut, and that's the one I used to frequent. That's the one I always go to with my iPhone issues, get new phone, that kind of thing. I'm like, whoa. And so what this guy was saying is that 3, 4 years ago they tried to form like a union, and the union make you have a little more autonomy. You can I would say advocate for more benefits, better benefits, or you can get the raises to match the inflation, what's going on with the economy. With you get to have a little more bargaining rights. And as they did that, that was a part of what allegedly was said. All right. So allegedly, what you said is that they you feel that that is part of the reason why they were let go, allegedly. However, the point is that what really struck me was that I never hear him say, thank God I had another side hustle. I was doing this. I was Thank God I was doing this. So yeah, I know I can transition into what this other thing is. He said what he's going to do now. His daughter's in college, and he has bills to pay, and he has this to take care of, and he sounds like a real beaten man. I'm like, wow. So we talk about one income stream, like so much of us have right now, is becoming a risky thing. For decades, many families relied on one employer, and and for many years it was kind of cool. Nice town, car manufacturing. Hey, the whole town was okay. Clothing factory or some major um, um, manufacturer, and the entire county or town was was fine, right? It's not the same way anymore. And so today, that's becoming increasingly difficult. A lot of those things are gone for good. If you do research and see how many plants across this country that was shut down, the entire town became like a ghost town because the entire manufacturing company left. Technology changes, industries evolve, companies restructure. These are things that happens all the time, and even now more rapidly. So what you have technology that's changing, industries that's evolving, and you have companies that are restructuring. Recent workforce studies continue showing workers increasingly seeking secondary income. Yep, they're seeking secondary income streams. Not because they're greedy or love money like that, but because they're seeking stability. The goal isn't necessarily to become rich overnight. The goal is to create options. Sometimes a small affiliate program, income, is where you start. A digital product that could sell, a consultant opportunity. Some of you have skills and experience. A commission partnership, a content platform can become the difference between panic and peace. And so you hear sometimes people talk about, I made 20,000 in 2 weeks. I made 50,000 in 6 months. I make it's listen, folks. I'm not here to talk about this, pie in the sky kind of thing. Folks out there making money all different kind of ways. I'm talking a lot of you right now. You know, if you make an extra 2,000 a month along with your job, you'll be in a much better place. A lot of you right now, in your 40s, 50s, 60s, you're about to retire and want to retire. If you make another extra 5,000 per month, oh man, your life has changed. That's not rich. That's nowhere near rich. Oh, wealth. I've been wealthy. Some of you right now, you're making extra 10,000 a month, which is highly possible. How would your life look? What what are things that you could do that you couldn't do before? All right. So let's keep it down to, realistic numbers that a lot of you can relate to, because you know that why a lot of us have a hard time with the job is because so much taxes come out. A lot of us are single. All right. We make a lot of money, but a lot of taxes come out of our check. So we don't see that money the way we should. All right. And that's the reality. So the question isn't how much can I make? The question is, what can I start building? What can I start building? So when you hear about we call it passive income hub, it's seriously, it is a serious thing that's in place, that's been brought to you. It's a very important thing to understand that it's built for you. It's built for you. And I'm telling you, but those of you who have been, I would say, responding, you have no idea how it means to me and what it means to me. And the thing is that I would love to hear a lot of you really comment on and tell me what are your thoughts. What are your thoughts and what you see when you go to the passive income hub? Because when you get in that hub, you're gonna be like surprised to see things that are there. You might be thinking one thing, but like you'll be like, wait a minute, oh, I think I see where this is going. I think I see where I fit in the puzzle here. I see why when he said 40, 50, 60. No, I see what he means. I see what he means when he said simple. I see what he means when he said passive. I see what he means when he said low startup. I see what he means when he said, oh, this recruiting thing is not that necessary for me to go around trying to recruit people like that or become no expert in marketing. No, I think I see what he's saying. All right. And so my experience is my experience is pretty much a part of my I would say my blessing in able to not only identify what I feel really works for me, but what works for you as well. And so that you got to check out. Now, you talk about digital training hub, and I'm telling you, that's not a hub that I want to really emphasize on. A digital training hub. Now, the skills gap nobody wants to talk about. And sometimes for a lot of us, anything digital is a bit scary, We kind of stay back a little bit, or guard, you know, is just up automatically because we hear digital. And again, yes, we are in a place where it may require a little bit of pushing here, all right? A little bit of intentionality here in wanting learning in learning some simple things, not necessarily complicated, simple things. All right, because we find that we in a world now where we have machinery and we have technology that our job is just learn how to speak to it, how to talk to it. All right, how to communicate with it. Now, I've written many songs with the help of AI. I'm a writer before I started using AI. All right, written for many years, written albums, and I've done many things in the area of music, writing, producing, arranging, So when I put that in AI, I realized that it's not so much how skillful I'm able to play the music or write the music, but how skillfully I'm able to communicate with AI. And you find out, wait a minute, I could do this. All right. And I have many, many songs, different genres, different type of feel, different topics, and I'm loving it. All right. But one of the biggest risks today isn't AI, it's refusing to learn. All right. And I don't want to go about it anticipating the worst and the scariest. All right. History shows us something interesting. The people who adapt often up or outperform the people who resist, not because they're smarter, because they are willing. All right. So learn an AI tool. Try, try one. All right. Um, learn something about content creation. You know, online networking, personal branding. I mentioned to you, uh, it's a few of my podcasts that I heard a gentleman who was building something massive some years ago, and this was really a worldwide phenomenon. He was building, and I heard him say once, "Brand yourself." And as I talked about my years of being online, trying different things, I would have different names each time. I would make up different cards to match the company's name, and each company had a different card. Each company had a different number to work with that company, had a different email, right? Different everything to identify the company. When the company went, I was no more. It was gone because it was my brand, it was the company's brand. So when I learned that brand building is very important, so I said, hey, no matter what I share or do, I can brand myself. All right, this is key. Whether I'm a writer for book, I play music, I do vocals, I sing, I do speeches, whether it's motivational speaking or any area, is still key in the package. All right. And so that's where I feel that having the support of a network as such, what you see here is part because of a network that's behind all that you see here. So being a part of a network will also help you develop trust. Understand that this network here, they're not here and gone tomorrow like that. They're here for stability. They're here for, for the long haul, right? That's what they're here for. Now, anything can happen in life where things may cut short for whatever reasons, right? But the point is that you will see that there is a sense of stability, continuity, all right, consistency, all right, reliability. You know, when you come here for Monday night, I'm here to begin the show. That takes dedication, it takes commitment, right? And so, so when you see that, that ought to make you know that I'm not here just to play games with my life or your life. No way at all. Not at all. All right. It's a serious thing. It's a serious thing right now. And, you know, the idea here is that we maximize what's in front of us, what's being given to us. All right. Because some things that has come to you, it hasn't been easy as how it may appear. And it's funny because I had a conversation with uh very important creator called um very important digital expert, all right, mentor, if I would say, and I realized that sometimes a lot of what they do sometimes is not necessarily verbalized behind the scenes. Sometimes the real heavy lifting sometimes you don't see it. And you have to acknowledge it that is such a key important thing to where I know far I go in effort of branding and exposing what I have to you, the audience. And so for that, I'm always grateful and thankful and appreciative because believe me, it's not a one man thing. You know, no one is an island here. We're here to really support each other and really let the team spirit rise, you know? So we're looking at we're looking at how we can transform our thinking and realize that something as small as a phone can be a doorway to so many exploits. It can be such an income producing tool that we'd be surprised, right? And it's highly mobile too, right? Highly mobile. And what I really want to see happen is folks give themselves options. So you may hear tomorrow, I'm sorry, Mr. Brown, Miss Sue, Miss Jane, whatever, we have to let you go. And there's no panic. We have to lay off you for this season because we have some changes and we downsizing and we're doing some things. You don't panic because you already put your plans in place, your options in place. And that's what I'm really trying to promote here on Next Level with Keith. How can we fortify ourselves and not having that risky way of living that if one thing falls apart, there goes everything else, right? So, yes, we talk about the digital part of it. So, folks, um, what's being curated here for you is some it's some things, and it starts sometimes with your mind. How we think about it, are we open? All right. So if you go to the hub, you may see some things that you may say, well, where is the digital product? Sometimes it starts with your thinking, your mind first to understand. So when you do decide to take it to a very more of a literal, practical thing, your mind would have already been in place, right? The confidence would have been there, and you won't give up at your first failure. Something goes off, you don't give up because you'd have already let let the strength of your mind, come into play. Yes, and again, we talk about these hubs. I do have what I call a growth reading hub. All right. And so if you're new to this channel, yes, I did write a book, and I call that book a preventative measure. It's like every home should have that book, who have teenagers especially. All right. It's like a preventive measure. And a book sometimes, in this case, it represents your story, it represents your life. All right. And also, we write a story every day, every year. We keep writing our story. A lot of us, we have the idea of writing a book for years. We never really sat down and say, let's make it happen. Many of you are thinking about it. Many of you started and stopped. All right, maybe you want to revisit that again and see what happens. But when I think of story, I think about a thing where what story do I want to write? You know, can I change my story? Some story that we have was given to us, where someone said, well, this person, you're going to be this and you're going to be that. And you've actually accepted that and you're not living it out. How about rearranging your story, write a new story? So the question is it helping you grow? All right. So if you think about what you're feeding your mind with, think about it. You're reading this thing, you're absorbing this thing, this information here. Is it helping you grow or helping you stay comfortable? Readers constantly outperform non-readers in leadership, development, communication, decision making, and financial literacy. Reading is a very important thing. And I'll tell you, I'm guilty of doing more audio listening than reading. All right. I never really as a child developed a love for reading. And I think it's due to the fact that when I was younger, I was told to read, but it was such an aggressive mode that it seemed like it wasn't fun. It wasn't cuddly and warm as I remember as a child. It was more like a duty. Go read a book, kind of a, militant kind of a thing. Put something in your head, the kind of a thing. It wasn't like, hey, Come on, let's go sit down. Let's go under a nice tree, a shade somewhere, or maybe lay on a bed or a couch. And it wasn't that warm, fuzzy feeling. That's why a lot of kids today love reading because when they develop in that warm sense of community, they when they read, they feel that sense, the sense they get that sense back again when they read, even as adult, because when they were younger, they remember the warmth of maybe a mom or a big brother or a sister or friend reading together, reading to them. Right? I don't really have those stories like that. So I guess that's a part of why I don't really like reading that much. But I do read. I have to. Right? I think I'm gonna try to improve my reading even more. And today is funny because I picked up my book and I was reading through them. I'm like, wow. As I'm reading through, I'm like, this is, it feels like it was a fresh thing as I was reading through some other chapters. And, it's called um, When Fun Is Not Funny. That's the title of this book. And I recommend this book to, uh, to parents to get it for their teenagers and really, really give them an extra buffer, this extra tool that they will be able to read and understand that there are things that can change their life very, very, very rapidly in an instant. We're just making the wrong decision, you know. And so that's a hub that they can check out and see what's in there. And like I said, I have some surprises, but I want you to go. I want you to go and just make it happen and just do your thing. All right. So this month I want to challenge you. This month in particular, I want to challenge you. How about that? Hmm? Read one book, listen to one audiobook, study one subject that moves your future forward. So read one book, could be a small one for the first, maybe under 100 page, right? Listen to one audiobook, study one subject that moves your future forward. How about that for this week? You see, so small inputs create massive outputs. And this leads me to another hub that I want to talk about. This is the Family Protection Hub. But I'll give you a funny story. Do you know that I found out yesterday that the honey I've been using in my closet all this time that I love so much wasn't or isn't authentic? So I stressed on legal things in my Family Protection Hub, but it doesn't revolve around legal things at all. It revolves around anything that affects the family negatively, things that we don't know and we need to know to improve our lives. And so I'm watching this program and I'm seeing how many people buy honey in replacement for sugar. They're thinking that if I buy this honey, it looks real, great. I mean, label. I mean, really eye-catching, looking warm and fuzzy. And of all the honeys that they actually studied and checked out thoroughly, only two they found that was authentic. Two. So if you think you're using the right honey in your home right now, you might want to go and check it out. If you think you're using the right honey in the home right now, honey, because what it says made of, you might be surprised when you get to hear it. I have a video in my Family Protection Hub that will probably shock you. All right. And so I again would like you to have the information because protecting your family legally is one thing, but how about health wise? That's also very important. Educational wise, that's also very important. And so this family freedom means this family freedom means nothing if your family is vulnerable. So I can talk about financial freedom, all right? That's important. I can talk about financial freedom all day long. But if family is not protected in other ways, it's still vulnerable. It's like having your wealth but not your health. So a lot of folks will trade their health for wealth. So why have the wealth but not the health? So that's just an idea of what happens here. These things are being looked into, they are being curated. I talked about identity theft, things that are popping up to think about, new scams. You may want to go and check it out and see if you're vulnerable. Certain states where some crimes are higher than others, you may want to go and check it out and see if you're affected by that. All right. So many people focus on earning, but fewer focus on protecting. Ask yourself this question. If something happened tomorrow, does my family know where everything is? If something happened tomorrow, does my family know where everything is? Do we have a plan? Are important documents organized? Is there life insurance? Is there a will? Is there a strategy? And this is so important. It was a few days ago, I reminded my daughter, my son, to download an app. All right, this app is a really incredible service that one can have. And you'll find it in my Family Protection Hub. All right, and you can be protected legally. And my son, daughter now, they're getting older. They're driving now. They're now more out there on the streets, on the roads. Anything can happen out there. And this app, they can be protected legally for $1 a day, for less than $1 a day, less than $1 per day. And I remind them to get the app, download the app, and tell them what to do. So God forbid if they were to be caught in some situation or something where they're not treated correctly, legally, they have somewhere to run to. They can click on the app, they can call that number 24/7. God forbid. We pray, we believe, we trust God, but we do our best humanly what God has given to us as far as information, and how we utilize that information to protect ourselves. And I talked about a story. I'll make it short. Some years ago, when I was traveling to Florida, and a car pulled me over in Georgia, and I told you how the cop says, based on what happened that year of the January, because I was traveling that April of that year. A few months ago, what has changed based on how my driving speed was, he said that was considered a misdemeanor, even though I believe that it was his word against mine. He never showed me the proof, but he said based on my speed, I it was a misdemeanor. And I was able to go to Florida with my family at the time and play for the wedding, did my thing, came back home to New York, and I was able to call this company, right? That's in the Product Protection Hub, and they had me represented with a lawyer in Georgia. I got a call a couple of days saying, Mr. Merritt, be careful, but your case is dismissed. Take care of yourself. That feeling was priceless. Saved me time, money, and a lot of unnecessary stress. So I know what I'm talking about when I say Family Protection Hub. All right. You want to check that out. But ask yourself these questions that I said again. Does your family know where everything is? Do we have a plan? Are important documents organized? A friend of mine recently just was home. I spoke to her a week ago and she said her house was burnt out. She had, um, you know, her stuff wasn't fully organized, right? Or all of, you know, important papers. A lot of those papers were destroyed that fast. All right, and she, trying to get herself back together and keep things going. Thank God, it could have been worse. I'm glad she's okay. She wasn't injured physically, but she had to now try to figure out how to get these things back. So yes, protection for the family is important in all the different areas. Protection is an act of love. Building isn't enough. You must also what? power to preserve. All right. And so, of course, the next level, the next level help center is there for you as well, because, like I said, no one is an island, right? And you may have some questions, you may have some thoughts, ideas that you want to reach out and check out or ask. So, one of the biggest myths in personal development is self-made success. All right, that's a myth. I did it all by myself. No one helped me. You know, and I know that sometimes we can get that way sometimes because you get sometimes dark and painful sometimes on the journey, but we never do it alone. We never do it alone. It's always someone, could be that one person or that two or three persons that was always there to cause you to just keep moving and not totally fall apart. Every successful person receives help somewhere: a mentor, a teacher, a coach, a community, a network. The strongest people aren't those who never ask for help. They are the people who know when to seek it. Sometimes your breakthrough is one conversation away. So, just in case you land on my hubs, and you may say, I'm not sure about some things. There goes my what? My help center. Send a question, send a request, send a thought. It's all accepted. And I always talk about one of the most important part of my podcast. And again, why I thought this change was necessary as far as season two, because I believe that many folks never got to the take action part. All right, we're now an hour into the show, a little over an hour. All right, and many folks probably never got to this point of saying, "Oh, that's what I need to do. That's what's going on here." And so that's why I put those things early in the show. Hopefully, a lot of you may not spend the entire show, but if you spend the first 10, 15 minutes, it should give an idea of where we're going with this. All right. And this show is not for everybody, I'm sure. All right. Everyone may not feel in alignment with this show for whatever reason, but I know that it is having an impact because of the feedback I'm getting. And my hope is that those who have been commenting and saying, hey, you know what, I've been procrastinating, this will be your time. We say, well, I'm now doing. And you will let me know in the comment section. In my YouTube channel, I'd like for you to actually comment and let me know what you're doing and maybe how is it working for you. You can share with me your side hustle. Let me know what it is. Or you may want to ask me directly what my thoughts are. Or again, you can let me know if you find the hobs uh, confusing, because I need your feedback too. I would like your input in this. Action, right? Activity. Let me know, Keith. I get it, but I didn't understand this. And what is that? And I would love those things. So this is what I want for season two. So all of you who are gonna comment, because some of you are like diehard, supporters. I could, I feel you all the way here. You never fail to comment, and I really, really admire you for that. But I would like for you to really this time take it one notch up if you can, and just share with me some that you're doing, or maybe why you don't get into passive income, or maybe you talk about an experience you had, why you may have doubts about it, or why you may feel that you feel good about it now, or you look at into get into it now. I like to hear those comments. See where you are, because I don't want one thing to stop your progress for us not having addressed or dealt with. All right. Sometimes it's just that one question that you want to ask, but you never ask. And hey, it's funny because in the book I talk about there are people who came and lived and died and never really got to bring out what they had in their hearts and mind. It is said that the graveyard is one of the wealthiest places on earth. So many unfulfilled dreams, so many unfulfilled oppor- ideas went without being exposed to the world for others to reap the benefit of that. And my given to you is because of my own experiences of losing and failing and trial and error and research. I've had many failures, many failings. So I'm not here as a all know it and got it all together. No, it's my mistakes why I know better, why I can share better, talk better with confidence, knowing that that was that, this is this. That was then, this is now. That was inferior, this is superior. That was archaic, this is modern. That was for this one percenter, this is for the masses. I can clearly talk about those things because of my experience. All right. And so the take action part is one of the most important part of this show because if action is not taken, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's in vain. So I'm seeing some of you making some moves, but I would love to hear you interact a little more now that we become close as a family, as a network. All right. See, I got through season one. So I told you I have a stick to it idea and stick to it kind of a mindset. I don't quit so easy, right? So hey, I'm here for you. But as far as taking action, today choose one area, right? Could be the Freedom Hub, that's one, or the Passive Income Hub, or the Digital Training Hub, or the Growth Circle, or the Family Protection Hub. Choose one of those and ask yourself, what is one action I can take this week? Not next month, this week. Not next year, this week. All right. So take this action this week. Choose one area. You can check out the Freedom Resource Hub. You can check out the Passive Income Resource Hub. You can check out the Digital Training Hub, the Growth Reading Circle Hub. You can check that out, and the Family Protection Hub. You have those choices there. All right. Check them out. Check them. All right. And ask yourself, what is one action I can take this week? Not next month, not next year, this week. Because momentum doesn't come from intentions. Momentum comes from action. Action. Powerful thing. So the next level audit I want to look at as an activity. All right. All right. So check this out, y'all. Check this out. Check this out. Rate yourself from 1 to 10 in each area. All right. 1 to 10. This is learning growth. All right. Additional income, digital skills, reading and personal development, family protection and planning, support network. So the answer, which area scored lowest and why? What action will take within the next 7 days? So rate yourself in these areas. Learn and growth. Are you a 2? Are you a 5 in that? Are you a 6? Additional income. How much are you looking for the additional income? Are you more of a 10? You want it to happen. Or you more like a 1 or 2? You're okay already. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm good. My finances is quite fine. I'm not looking for anything extra, or I want something extra. I'm giving it a 9 or a 10. All right. Digital skills. What? How skillful are you digitally? Are you interested in digital stuff? Are you a beginner? Right. What number would you give that? Your interest level in that? Reading and personal development. How big are you on that? Right. What number would you give it? 2, or you're a 5, or you're a 7, or you're a 10. Right. Family protection and planning. How important is that to you? Right. What number would you give it? Do you think about it? Do you are you have you began to work on those important things? Right. And let's give a number in all those 1 to 10. And of course, One, which area scored lowest, right? That's important. And why? Why you thought it was the lowest. And what action will you take within the next 7 days? So I'd like for you to share your insights in the comments or continue discussion at podcast.keithmerritt.com. I would love for you to actually do that. That would be great to see you actually respond that way. Share your insights in the comments or continue the discussion at podcast.keithmerritt.com. Final thoughts for you before we end this segment here. The next 3 years, let me just wipe my glasses. Look at you again, but I'm wiping my glasses off first. I'm wipe it off and look at you again in your face. I want you to look me in the eye. I'm gonna look you in the eye. No lie. Look each other in the eye. I want you to listen to me very carefully. The next 3 years will reward people who become intentional, not perfect, intentional. The next level isn't hiding, it's waiting to be built. One skill could be one connection, one opportunity, one decision at a time. And that's why we're here. I'm really, really feeling blessed to be here. Recently, I heard of a young lady who passed away recently, not to end on a sad note, but she wasn't that old. And I'm like, wow, you know, our time here may not be many years. It may not be very long. What are we doing now to get ourselves situated to leave that legacy behind, to impact in a very profound way, having the tools and the knowledge that we have. There's a script that says, "To whom much is given, much is required." And for those who don't know much, you may not expect too much. But for those who have a lot of information, a lot of stuff, you expect more from that person. All right. So again, rate yourself, right? That's learning and growth. As far as income, what's your interest level in that? Your digital skills, all right? Your reading and personal development, all right? Your family protection and family planning is very important. All right. And talk about which of these and the numbers that you give them and why. And I think it's a good way to do that. We call it an inventory, kind of a checkup and see where we are. Hmm? So 1 to 3 needs attention, right? 1 to 3 needs attention. 4 to 6, room for growth. All right. 7 to 8, you're doing well. And 9 to 10 is to me, it's a pretty strong foundation. All right. Those are things that you want to really understand. So 1 to 3 needs attention. 4 to 6 means there's room for growth. 7 to 8 is doing well. And 9 to 10 is a strong foundation. All right. So thank you so much for again being here with me. Season 2, first episode, altogether 22 episodes and counting. Totally excited. And well, again, thank my producer, mentor for just always being there, always over delivering and just doing a thing and just proud to be a part of this network, proud to be able to share with you all these months and hopefully many more months to come and hopefully bring what I see offline online and we'll just keep having fun and keep growing. So again, thank you for tonight. Again, thank you for your presence here on Next Level with Keith. And looking forward to see you on and on and on and hearing good things from you. And we know that the best is yet to come. Thank you again. Have a great night and see you next week on podcast episode 23. God bless.
If today's episode spoke to you, it's because you're ready. Ready for your money to work for you. Ready for practical steps, not just motivation. Ready for faith-led financial freedom. Ready to build stability, peace, and confidence for your family. You're not alone on this journey. The Next Level isn't just a podcast. It's a movement toward freedom, one episode at a time. Stay connected. Listen anytime at podcast.keithmerritt.com. Explore the Next Level Movement Hub. Subscribe on YouTube at Keith Merritt. Like, share, comment. Your engagement helps this message reach more families. Take your next step. Visit keithmerritt.com/impact/the next level. Subscribe for the latest blog from the Freedom Resource Hub and join the Next Level Resource Network. Choose the hub that fits your journey: music and speaking, family protection, digital learning, passive income, or Keith's book and reading hub. Press play. Take action. Your next level is calling.